Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Paul.
I am Nate Balding.
And I am Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by the Monstroco Powdered Thieves' Tongue. Put it in a pie, a lasagna, your lover's drink, to hear only the truth from them forever. The horrible truth. Monstroco Thieves' Tongue, now with omega-3.
Ooh, I need that.
If you need it, if you're gonna take it yourself,
Yes.
you will only be able to tell the truth, no matter
That's
how
fine. I need
devastating.
omega-3s, baby, and I'm willing to confess some things for it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, well, just, don't make a recording.
I'll tell you, Roger, how does that coffee you just went and got taste?
This is something, baby. It's bitter, it's black, and there's way too much caffeine in it.
Great, that's because I spiked it with Monstroco's Powdered Thieves' Tongue. Roger should only be able to tell the truth. Let's ask him. Roger, how do you really feel about skeletons?
I have an urge to do things with them, and that is take apart their bodies and construct a xylophone with it.
Okay, good. I had to check after that knee-knocking slur thing.
I
tall
didn't
are
do the
you?
slur. I'm about 17 feet.
Okay, see, that makes me think that the thieves' tongue isn't working.
No, I got stretched out over the last episode.
Oh, wow. Well, there you have it.
Well,
you can speak only the truth, folks.
A second skeleton may have just crawled up inside of him. So,
Oh, boy.
Now, the bottom half of me
maybe
says that
three
you're
of them.
saying too much, Nate.
Oh, boy. I guess I knew this was going to happen. Monstroco, Powdered Thieves, now with omega-3 fatty acids.
that sounds healthy.
It does.
I
doesn't
know,
it? It does.
mostly
Put a
because
little,
we all need more omega-3s.
a little sprinkle on your oatmeal for that tonguey tang.
Yeah, shouldn't all of our therapy come with omega-3s?
Hell yeah. Boys, what do we got for him this week? It is Big Vember, as you know.
It is
It is Big
Vember.
Vember. Do we all have Bigfoot segments?
I have a Bigfoot segment,
I
Nice,
have
Nate.
two
if you know
of
what I
them.
mean.
You have 2 of them?
That's right.
Well,
A second skeleton crawled inside my segment.
A second skeleton on the grassy knoll.
well, then let me go first because I jumped the border a little bit, okay? I defected to Russia
Oh, shit.
to get you this information on the Russian Yeti sighting.
Okay.
Oh,
2016.
Just the one?
They have many, man.
Oh.
The Almasty
Yes.
as what it's called in Russia and Mongolia
I know this guy. I know this
has been popping off for centuries, just like Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share my screen and let's watch this sighting. I got the video, baby.
Wow, video evidence.
All right, here it goes. It's 13 seconds long.
Get gnet fletchnich.
I'm gonna let it. God
Hang
damn it.
on.
Nope, you're not getting this ad today,
Oh,
Jordan.
come on. It's Julia Roberts. She's America's sweetheart.
So here's the video.
Can you lick it larg?
I can larg it.
Oh, you know what? I literally saw this like 2 days ago.
Huh.
Yeah, dude, it is something that
It's
I would also
Very
stop my
compelling.
Is this new?
snow plowing car. That might be an ATV instead or something.
Is this new?
2016, like I said. We're talking
New-ish.
about
I mean,
the
less than 10
Russian
years ago.
Almast sighting in 2016.
yeah,
It's pretty decent. Like the zoomed in one is still blurry, but like you see the legs kicking the snow.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
bipedal.
It's not a deer, although it has a lot of deer-like features, running in front of lights for some reason.
And it's not a bear.
Yeah,
Could it-
bears don't
for
run
sure,
like
because
this.
bears would cross the street on
Could
4
it-
legs if
could
they
it
were doing it at all.
Could it be a guy?
It could always be a guy. Bigfoot's
But-
just a big dude.
I think the reaction from the car is interesting to note too, because I don't know, they slam the brakes on. You can see them kind of skid.
Oh, my bad. I played too much.
Interesting. I am intrigued.
Intriguing. Like the
I mean, I
end of
guess
Mobius.
I guess it could be Vladimir Putin.
You think it could be Putin?
He's done some things. This is from the website Southern Styles Sweet Teas.
Okay, unexpected.
Yes, almost as shocking as the Bigfoot sighting.
They're taking a departure from their usual sweet tea-based content to bring you this strange update.
I don't
Well,
have
then
a
again,
date
We
of
have previously covered Bell Squatch, and we
That is
know
true.
that Squatch drinks a sweet tea.
That's true.
I
This is
don't
true.
know when this was published. The copyright on the website is 2014 or 2024, I mean, sorry. This was published October 7th, and they did a good work of kind of discussing this Russian almost or Yeti sighting. In the winter of 2016, this is from the website, a group of hikers embarked on an expedition into the remote Ural Mountains, a region steeped in both natural beauty and mystery.
History.
This was a place removed from modern civilization where few dared to venture, especially in the coldest months of the year. The hikers experienced well prepared for the harsh conditions were approaching a routine trek through the snow-covered landscape. What they encountered was anything but ordinary.
Oh no.
I mean, it's ordinary for us Bigfoot fans and enthusiasts. We just would have been like, that was Bigfoot. Just keep
Yeah.
on driving.
Another
You leave
day,
him
another
alone.
dollar.
We'll see him at the campsite later.
Take it to TikTok. Let's get those hits.
While moving through a particularly isolated stretch of forest, the group noticed something strange moving in the distance. At first, they weren't sure what they were seeing, a shadowy figure, tall and broad, gliding effortlessly through the trees. And you saw that snow. It was kicking it up. Bigfoot had no problem moving through that.
Yeah, tromping. Trompdoy.
Standing between what they think is 7 and 8 feet tall and covered in thick, dark fur, the creature resembled a giant upright ape. But what really set it apart was the way it moved, as we saw in that video, very quick, fluid, and the article says almost supernatural in its agility. It goes on saying far faster and more graceful than any human could manage in such rough terrain.
What about French Stewart?
Now, I haven't thought about him in a decade plus.
I
wonder what he's up to.
Well,
In
he's
Russia?
dressing as Bigfoot in Russia, yeah.
Now, in a state of shock,
He's been doing leg day for 10 years.
dude, Bigfoot's legs are thick for sure. He is all about those squats. In a state of shock, the hikers managed to snap several photos and record a brief shaky video of the encounter. The blurry images and video clips soon made their way onto Russian social media, where they quickly went viral.
I believe it's called Russian media over there.
The footage showed a large human-like figure moving through the trees. Though the quality is low, the images left much to the imagination. I think we all added a lot of stuff. I mean, I saw arms. Did you guys see arms?
I saw arms. I saw a wristwatch. I saw a banana hammock that said Ibiza on it.
But for those who had witnessed the creature firsthand, there was no doubt in their minds they had come face to face with the Almasty. A quick little background on the Almasty. Unlike its North American counterpart, which is usually described as ape-like, the Almasty is often portrayed in very human in appearance, kind of like archaic humanoid. You know, your Neanderthals, but not Neanderthals weren't that hairy, but you know, Denisovian. I'm trying to say the Indonesian humanoid. Could be like them or so many other, what was it? Homo erectus, you know, an archaic humanoid.
Sure.
Many cryptozoologists believe that the Russian Yeti could be a relic species or a living fossil that has managed to evade detection in the vast wilderness of Russia.
Now,
go on.
I mean, that does feel like we would have at least one skeleton.
especially in Russia, where they've been hanging out in Siberia for a while.
You guys don't
Yeah.
have a Almas skeleton?
Oh,
I got one.
now I
All right,
feel like
well.
I need one.
You can find them. You go to Russia, and they're
and
like around.
and shoot literally anybody
There you go.
and let the flesh be removed.
Let the flesh be removed.
Oh, you're always saying that, Nate. So crazy.
It is my go-to.
Now, throughout the 20th century, there were numerous reports of almasty sightings, especially during the Soviet era, when Soviet scientists and researchers took an active interest in the investigation of the creature. One of the most prominent researchers was a Professor Boris Pozhnev,
Okay.
a Russian scientist who dedicated much of his career to studying the possibility that the almaste represented a surviving species of Neanderthal
Oh.
or a related hominid.
Right, well, cartoons have
Korshniev's-
taught me that anyone named Boris is a ridiculous figure not to be trusted.
Yeah, give him a day and a half before he blows himself up with one of those big round bombs.
Borshnev's work outside of big round bombs lent a degree of scientific credibility to the search for the Russian Yeti, and his theories are still influencing cryptozoologists to this day.
I mean, I'm right here. I'm being influenced as we speak.
Now, knowing where the almaste is, you have the rural mountains, even into Mongolia, the almaste might be a Yeti, or at least have connection to the Yeti sightings. What if I was to throw out a crazy theory
On
to
this
where it also,
podcast?
on this podcast,
Okay.
the almaste is also responsible for the Dyatlov Pass incident?
Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
Go
So,
on.
I've done some research on Native American Bigfoot.
Okay.
I can't pronounce any of the goddamn names that they gave him because of my white devil tongue.
Sasquatch. Maybe you could. They call him Hairy Man sometimes.
Yeah,
They call him
it's
Han.
what's one of their.
told.
Sorry, the article is thick. I started here, and then it was all like, "This is too long," but I can use it for a connective segment on the Dyatlov Pass Bigfoot.
There you go.
So the Yakut of California, that is literally what it literally translates into. Mayak Datat is just hairy man in their language.
Okay.
And as you said, a lot of it is there's different names for it. I'm trying to find another one, but it was kind of like a wise man.
Ah.
Wild man is what one of them translates into.
Wise Man of the Wood.
Long story or big god.
Oh.
The Navajo stories Yitso could be a Bigfoot story. Sorry about that. I know the name. It's in the game Beyond Two Souls.
Ah.
That's the main villain you got to defeat.
Ah, yes.
Kind of
Why
to
do they
that
call him Yitso?
Yitso.
Because you eat so much. Yeah.
And here's one of them, the Lumi. I don't know where they're from. I apologize for not going into that far.
Oh, you're talking about the Lummi tribe.
The Lummi tribe.
Yes, I grew up just miles outside of the reservation.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Then you are familiar
It's,
maybe
Pacific Northwest.
with some of the Bigfoot powers, the Semitskwi. Sorry if I butchered that, but their version of the Bigfoot, nocturnal forest dwellers that are said to whistle a hypnotic tune to lure travelers off the path and into the darkness.
Dang.
So what if everything that happens at the Dyatlov Pass incident, such as them kind of going insane, maybe even attacking each other, blah, 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 and I'll go into a little bit more,
Fae fighting.
You're whistling Fae fighting that the Bigfoot can be known to do. What if Almaste has these hypnotic powers and compelled them to die, as Soviet investigations wrote down? Soviet investigations concluded that the hikers died from an unknown compelling force.
Yeah. Something that was compelling them.
Yeah, I mean it
Such
they
as the
definitely
big whistle
did.
of the Bigfoot.
The whistle, the night whistle of the Bigfoot. That's interesting. You think he was luring them?
I
mean,
do. I'm putting it together for a theory that I don't truly believe in, but is a good theory to where like I don't have a real explanation for why they did it. One time on the show, I said, what if they opened a weird dimension using building their tents in a weird area that opened up a weird geometrical thing and let in the witch from Lovecraft stories.
Yeah.
Whoa, crazy.
So this is a little bit more reasonable than that.
Now, here's the thing. I'm pretty gullible.
Yes.
I'm pretty much a mark. And if I were walking through the woods on any average day and I heard whistling, if you guys were with me, yeah, I'd follow it. If I was alone in a Siberian tent at night, unless, I mean, that's a more dire situation. That's like, what if it's someone out there?
And they maybe thought like it was a siren situation is what I meant to say. They were lured because of like a safety. Yeah, they were like, well, we got to save this dude. We got to go out there nude and one of you chop off your tongues. Which is what happened in Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah, weird.
They didn't chop off their tongue. Sorry, someone was missing their tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could have happened in many ways, but what if Bigfoot took it?
I mean, I was gonna say I think that was just an animal, but then what is Bigfoot if not an animal?
What is man if not animal? We're a rock.
True.
Indeed.
That's weird.
So that's.
I mean, that's pretty much as reasonable as any of the other theories about Dyatlov Pass.
But that's my segment. It's short and sweet overall. Not a lot to it because Bigfoot sightings, it was just this video, which I'll share again just so we can see it one more time with feeling.
And remember, oxyek et netten.
Like it's definitely bipedal. It's definitely kind of running.
It's trucking, isn't it? I don't know. It seems small, but things look small on camera.
That could be like a 50 yards out.
I think it's just because it's far away.
And maybe it's small. Look at the orang pendek.
Could be small. Could be a reconstituted elf alien.
Maybe it's a child almost, and that's why it got caught.
Yeah, it was running. The big Bigfoot already crossed the road secretly in the darkness, and the kid was like, "Oh no, I need to go now."
Yeah, and then when they got home, the big Bigfoot gave that little Bigfoot such a spankering.
It's a good recent footage to where I can't explain it outside of that could just be the dude's friend going out there, be like, "Go out there like 100 yards, and I'll up on you."
Put on this ghillie suit.
Yeah. But they move pretty well. That's some thick snow. I want to say it's at least a foot deep. I'll give them benefit of the doubt, but it's a foot deep. There's a lot in there.
Yeah.
Can we call?
It's very snowy.
Can we call guys that go out in ghillie suits and pretend to be Bigfoot gillbillies?
Yes,
you heard it here first.
Lock it in, knee knockers.
You heard it here first, listeners.
Gillbillies. All right, may I have the speaking skull?
Oh, God damn it. I forgot to take it out again.
Did you?
Yeah, please fix my mistake, Jordan. I'm sorry I keep passing it to you fully charged and smoking.
I don't even know if I can fix this one. Let's see if I can find... Yeah, there's a bird. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to open the box.
Am I going to be locked in the bunker? Oh,
okay. Yeah. It got the bird. The death stare hit the bird. I think you're okay.
Okay, good. Woo! Sacrificial bird, worth the money we paid.
Yeah, it's cooling down. Okay, I'm going to put the speaking skull up on top of this long, flexible spindle, and I'm going to get it spinning. There we go. Okay. The speaking skull is now spinning. I would like to talk to you guys today about the Skunk Ape. Have we ever done a deep dive on the Skunk Ape?
We haven't really. We've talked about the basics of him, like back a baseball card, but nothing deep.
I think it's just come up fairly randomly.
It's Big Vember. The Skunk Ape is, famously one of the better Bigfoot pictures that is out there. I will be sharing my favorite Skunk Ape photo, which I know we've talked about this on the pod before. but
You have the ability to share.
yeah. Okay. So here we go. Do you see these guys?
Oh!
Yeah. That's my man, the skunk ape. This one, much clearer picture. This is the full image, and there's actually some back-to-back images. So yeah, you can see this one, and then the one where it kind of moves and opens its mouth. I think these are some of the most convincing images of a mystery primate in North America. They
Yeah,
say
it's
that these are
very
pictures of the skunk ape.
it's very
Uh,
like in between an orangutan and a gorilla and like humanoid
yeah, it's
or
supposed to
human.
look a bit like an orangutan. We're just gonna kind of peruse the Wikipedia page about the skunk ape. They got some sightings in here. I wanted to show you guys that picture. We talked about it, as if I remember correctly, a woman took it, something was sniffing around, eating the cat food that was out back or something. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
she snapped it. They lost it for a while. They found it again. The skunk ape Wikipedia page classifies it as similar to the Honey Island swamp monster.
Right.
Similar entities include the Honey Island swamp monster and the Fook monster, aka the Boggy Creek monster.
Definitely your wetter humanoid apes of North America.
First sighted in 1818, first attested rather. Other names: Florida Bigfoot, swamp ape, southeastern United States is the region. Okay, skunk ape is a large, hairy, human-like mythical creature purported to inhabit the forests and swamps in the southeastern United States, most notably Florida. So not just Florida, but it out here.
Man, it goes on vacation to Georgia and Alabama every once in a while, but its base of operations is the swamps of Florida.
Yeah. Many dubious articles have been presented in an attempt to prove the skunk ape's existence, including anecdotal sightings, disputed photographs, audio and video recordings, and casts of large footprints. The majority of mainstream scientists have historically discounted the existence of the skunk ape, considering it to be the result of a combination of folklore, misidentification, and hoax rather than a living animal. However, the skunk ape has permeated into the popular culture of the South America, especially in Florida. So, description. The skunk ape is commonly described as a bipedal, ape or human-like creature, approximately 1.5 to 2.1 meters. Anybody able to translate that?
That's like 7, 8 feet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Covered in mottled reddish-brown hair. Although the picture that we saw, it looks black, right?
Yeah, it's a very black, matte, just shiny,
Yeah.
well shampooed hair.
I
Yeah,
think
well, it's got a leave-in conditioner
greasy.
that it's using all the time.
Just natural Bigfoot grease.
The skunk ape is often reported to be smaller in stature compared to traditional descriptions of Bigfoot in the northern United States and Canada. It is named for its foul odor.
No, you're telling me skunk ape's named for some foul odor?
Oh,
Smell
and
it-
this
Smell like le skunk.
this is like that one time, or all the sightings to where the creature is kind of described with having a foul sulfur smell to it,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
putrid.
People seem to think Bigfoot stinks as well. There seems to be kind of a consensus that there's an odor, but the skunk ape is it's like it puts the stink in Bigfoot stink, you know? A particularly stinky little man from the swamp. It doesn't say that. History. Contemporary descriptions of the skunk ape in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama have occurred since European settlers first occupied the region. 1818, local newspapers reported a story from what is now Apalachicola, Florida, that spoke of a, quote, man-sized monkey raiding food stores and stalking fishermen along the shore. Cryptozoologists have made an unsubstantiated claims that Seminole and Miccosukee culture includes stories of a foul-smelling, physically powerful, and secretive giant called Esticapkaki, a name which roughly translates to furry tall man or hairy giant.
Once again, your hairy man, your big god.
Furry tall man. Notable alleged sightings. Here we go. Here we go, creepies. 1929, an alleged sighting occurred at the famous and then recently constructed Perky Bat Tower.
Awesome name.
Now, is Perky the name of a guy who built a bat tower or just the type of awake ass bat
I'm gonna go
that
ahead.
lives in the tower?
I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link to the Perky Bat Tower in our chat there. That is the Sugarloaf Key Bat Tower.
I see. It's exactly what it described
Oh, wow.
and not what I started to picture. It is a tower for only bats.
A historic site in Monroe County, Florida, United States, is located a mile northwest of Route 1, and it's a tower for bats. I didn't even know such a thing existed. I fucking love this.
It's how they're fighting mosquitoes,
Oh, cool. Good
which is
for
wild.
truly. In 1929, a alleged sighting occurred at the famous and then recently constructed Perky Bat Tower. Witnesses reported that an unknown ape-like creature was drawn to the construction site after inspecting the bat tower shortly after it had been stocked with bats. The creature shook the tower, driving off the bats before running into the woods.
Yeah. I have to imagine that he was attacked by some bats and he was like, no bat.
No bat. Why? This skunk ape house can no smell.
I think it also could be that Bigfoot or the skunk ape has that natural human instinct to shake a tower.
To rattle a tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he just didn't like what they were doing. Maybe he was like, this was my fucking spot. And you guys built this to house bats. I hate bats. And was like, growl. I don't know. 1942, a man in Sewanee County reported a similar creature rushing out from the brush line while he was driving down an isolated road. It was alleged to have grabbed onto his vehicle and beat on the running board and door for a half mile before departing. Fucking sweet.
That's some speed. I assume you were moving pretty fast as it was banging on your door.
Truly, this is a real Indiana Jones fucking pulp sequence.
And as we know, Bigfoot, of course, can run at 100 miles an hour.
That's right. The last episode, we talked about the Bigfoot convention in Pennsylvania, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't
think it was in
remember.
Pennsylvania.
But yeah, Bigfoot, along with being interdimensional, can fucking just start screaming
just
down the
shut
road at
up.
100 miles an hour.
Mhm. While whatever music you imagine plays in the background.
Yeah, he comes with a boombox. He could go 120 if he wanted, but he carries the boombox with him, so he has a
that
running
pops him down a
song.
couple. I like to imagine, weirdly, it's the theme from American Gladiators.
Mm-hmm.
Just through the woods, like quietly in the distance. What is that?
He's coming at you with a bafo stick.
Yeah, and then he just knocks you off the tree you were climbing.
He's in one of those balls, one of those terrifying cages that they rode around in.
Bigfoot
Anyway.
might just be a clone of Hulk Hogan.
Sure. Or
You know, I'm
Malibu.
I just
surprised that
pictured
there
Hulk
wasn't an
Hogan
American
as one of the
gladiator named
gladiators in
Bigfoot.
that.
Truly, Sasquatch or something. Anyway,
No, they had like
Uh,
Pyro and Fyro and
You're going
Joe.
Zap when you could have Sasquatch.
yeah, I think they needed nicknames that dovetailed nicely with doing cocaine.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Bigfoot's more of a weed guy, I think.
He definitely seems a lot more chill
Yeah.
than any of the American gladiators.
Okay, so it jumps on the side of this guy's vehicle. It's beating the shit out of the running board and the door. This is really aggressive behavior. It feels like as people move into this territory, this creature really doesn't want them there, which you can imagine. In the small community of Barden in Putnam County, Florida, that's where this happened, beginning in the 1940s, there was a number of alleged sightings of a creature that came to be known. What do you think they call it?
Oh,
is
Nitro?
may I have this the county of origin?
The county is Barden.
The
Oh,
the Barden banging Bigfoot.
You were very close. The Barden booger.
Ah, of course.
Like a wood booger.
See, I
Yeah.
knew this key was in the county of origin because they would go some alliteration.
You were right. In the 1960s, a rash of sightings in central Florida happened around Alachua County, Alachua, I'm not saying that right, Marion County. One such report from 1963 involved several members of a family encountering an ape-like creature around their rural home, including one instance of it approaching a window to peer inside at night.
Ooh.
By the by, Barden boogers are what you get if you're a Sasquatch who does a lot of coke.
Cocaine Bigfoot. Now there's a drawing.
Yeah. Quickly. Design it, Jordan.
I
Here's your
just saw it.
credit.
I saw a flash. So 1960s, the 40s through the 60s seemed to be a pretty hot time for the old Barden booger. Reports of the skunk ape were particularly common in the 50s through the 70s. The BFRO has archived hundreds of alleged sightings across almost every county of Florida, beginning in 1955 into the present day. Wild. I'm going to have to go check out some of those. In the 1970s, two Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies named Marvin Lewis and Ernie Milner. These guys are Palm Beach detectives in the 70s, guys. Deputies, rather.
Yeah, they're high on cocaine.
Oh, they're blasted on coke. The shades were aviators, the shorts were short, and the nights were hot. These two guys reported that an ape-like creature stalked them through a grove before they shot at it with their firearms. They reported following a trail of footprints where they recovered hair snagged on a barbed wire fence that had been pushed down. In 1971 to 1975, a rash of sightings occurred in Broward County and the surrounding areas. Multiple eyewitnesses reported nocturnal encounters with a 5 to 7 foot, that's right, 1.5 to 2.1 meter tall, ape-like creature with dark red to black fur, which is much closer to the picture. These events were heavily covered in newspapers, both local and in other Florida cities such as Miami, and were some of the earliest instances popularizing the term skunk ape in the state lexicon. Reports allege that the skunk ape had invaded homes, stalked people, and killed several of a farmer's livestock, including a horse and a bull.
Now,
Who's going to breed that horse with that bull?
This sounds like a guy.
Bull horse. It does sound like a guy. But no, it sounds more like an ape. He pushed down a barbed wire fence. I don't know. He killed a bull.
Yeah, humans can kill a bull, but not with our bare hands.
Yeah, not with ape attacks. We have to have that cloak and that hat and that sword.
Look at how happy this skunk ape is. Like, he knows he just took a life.
Guys, posses were formed.
Oh, what year was it again? Are we in the 70s?
This is 75, dude.
It is an era.
Yeah. Posses were formed in an effort to locate the alleged creature. No body or evidence was ever found. In 1977, a failed-to-pass bill was proposed in the Florida State Legislature to make it illegal to take, possess, harm, or molest anthropoids or humanoid animals.
Okay.
I mean, that should be a law.
Yeah, it should be a law, but it's weird we got to make it a law.
Yeah, no moleste, Florida. Several Everglades wildlife tour bus operators and their guests have had reported alleged sightings. July 1997, one such operator, Dave Sheely, reported wildlife bait stands laden with lima bean had been raided, and he noticed strange tracks surrounding them. He baited several locations with more lima beans.
Nice.
And multiple witnesses reported skunk ape sightings soon after. He loves lima beans.
Apparently.
Sheely and others attributed this instance to high seasonal flooding having driven numerous animals into tighter ranges around higher ground. One such sighting was by Everglades tour operators Steve Goodbread and Dow Rowland.
Dow Rowland.
We have yet to come upon a name that doesn't sound fake.
Yeah, they only get worse. So Dow Rowland and Steve Goodbread, some of their guests reported skunk ape sightings as well. Both operators claimed that 100 Fahrenheit weather, high humidity, and the rural location would make a hoax unlikely. And that's really kind of where a lot of the defense of of kind of the Skunk Ape comes from is people being like, if you wanted to hoax this, what I saw was it's dangerous to sit in a monkey suit in 100-degree swamp in the daytime. You know what I mean? That's Skunk Ape business. You let him figure that out. Don't try to. That's a good way to drown and have your corpse devoured by any number of snapping turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you're discounting how bored people get
And
in
the
all of
fact
these areas.
that all of these guys are involved with wildlife tourism in the area, which it would be in their best interests to drum up this type of thing. Whatever. We'll move on.
I would go on tour to see the Skunk Ape if you could provide that,
1997, a photograph of a dark, upright figure in the swamp was taken by Ochope Fire Control District Chief Vince Dewar that he claims depicts a skunk ape. He reported observing the creature cross the road and stopped to his car to capture a photograph. Within 2 weeks, over 50 people had reported alleged sightings of a hairy creature within the Big Cypress National Preserve. Can you look for the Ochope Fire Control for the Vince Dewar picture?
Vince
Doerr.
Doerr. How do you spell that again?
Doerr. In the year 2000, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office received 2 anonymous photos depicting a large, hairy, ape-like creature. This is the ones we looked at. The author of the letter claimed to be an elderly woman who reported the creature had been stealing apples from her back porch near I-75. And upon surprising it with a camera, she was afraid it was an escaped orangutan that might harm her family. The scrutinized photos, dubbed the Mayaka skunk ape, remain a polarizing topic. Oh, this is a Ochope picture.
And then I have another one here as well. Oh, it's the same.
Kind of? Interesting.
Very similar, same trees.
It's just zoomed in is what it looks like.
No,
And
Nate,
then-
there's got to be a better explanation. Yeah, I think that's the zoom in of it. That's then also done, got some grain removing and stuff, trying to make it as clear and accurate as possible.
So the Mayaka skunk ape remains a polarizing topic and their authenticity remains debated. One critique highlighting the photographs as a potential hoax is the subject's resemblance to a Bigfoot statue known from a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. Let's see if we can find that. Ripley's Believe It or Not Bigfoot statue.
I mean, I am pretty sure that I know the statue they're talking about. And
This statue, which I just thought is funny, but I don't know if that's the statue we're talking about.
This looks like he just found a spider, like under his flip-flop or something. I'm not seeing any pictures of the comparison to the Miyaka and the Bigfoot. Wait a minute.
Oh, Jordan's found something.
I mean, I think the Ripley statue is basically just looks like your standard Harry Henderson kind of Sasquatch.
I've kind of got it here. It's not very good. You guys want to see?
I
Here.
do.
So I think this is what people are talking about.
Reddit, why do you always have the answers both good and bad?
Reddit, you stinker. This one right here. Can you see this?
No, now we can.
What is it? Control zoom.
You want to right click and make it into a new tab.
Open image
In new tab, then go to that and then hold Alt and zoom.
Oh.
On this episode of Roger Teaches the Internet.
It's control and zoom, but yes.
I think it's Alt, and I think your keyboard's backwards.
I think
Yeah. Are you using a Dvorak?
I think the posture is similar, but it's not the same. I mean,
No.
look at
It doesn't
this.
really look
Look at
like.
the point.
I mean,
You'd have to
here.
repaint it. Like, that's quite the shade difference. That's more than just light refraction making a difference. That's like a whole different coat.
And then, like I said, there's the pictures of it kind of moving. There's this one that we've seen, and then there's this one.
Yeah, like it's obviously at a different angle.
That one, then that one.
Like it moves away from the bush.
Anyway, I think that, I'm open to explanations, but I don't think that one lines up very well. Anyway.
No, it's similar, but it's not the same.
can't show you guys the article. Then what will I do for my segment? So yeah, those are most of the sightings, the big ones. Skeptical investigator Joe Nickel has written that some of the reports may represent sightings of a Florida black bear suffering from mange. So much mange that it becomes an orangutan. In popular culture, the skunk ape has widely been accepted across Florida as an unofficial mascot for wilderness and rural culture, including
Hell yeah.
appearing in roadside businesses and attractions, television commercials, and on signs. And you know how much of that money the skunk ape sees? Goose egg.
Zero.
Not a dime.
That's not right, man. You can't profit off Bigfoot like that.
Read your contracts,
that's
folks.
bullshit, man.
Read your
Straight
contracts.
bullshit.
I think we'll continue this deep dive next week as we read some of the BFRO.net encounters with the skunk ape, and we'll kind of put this together a little bit for ourselves in a segment, a recurring segment that I'm calling "What's That Smell?"
Ooh, good one.
You're not going to go with Booger Man?
So good.
Both are good.
So good. No, it's Booger Man. We're switching it to Booger Man.
The Booger Man.
How about this? What's that smell, Booger Man?
Yeah, the combination won me over.
Got it. Okay, the skull is still spinning, so I'm going to go ahead and catch it in the box, and I am going to close the lid of the box and then open it, and it's gone. Nate, it should be in the room with you somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's
got
here.
it? Okay.
It is here.
Okay.
But
Speaking
before
skull.
doing any legitimate speaking through the skull, I think we should, for people that might happen to be also checking this out on YouTube, open this link to Virginia's sighting of Bigfoot that I posted.
Where did you
into our
post it?
chat.
There it is.
Yeah.
I guess we
And
should
jump-
also, for the people on
Jump like
YouTube,
45 seconds in.
we should also show the speaking skull. Maybe we'll have to see if Amazon has a deal on 3 packs of skulls, and we can each
You
have
know what?
ours.
We can make that
more,
happen.
I have more than one skull in my house currently.
I have a skull within. No, I don't. What happened to my skull?
Well, then that just means that we only have to buy 1 skull for me because maybe 2 if Jordan's skull does not
I'll get you a skull, pal.
turn up.
Get your skull for Christmas. I want a skull for Christmas to protect me. I want a skull for Christmas to exact my revenge.
All right, here's the video.
The Christmas Skull is my favorite Hallmark movie of 2024.
I want a Christmas skull for my birthday. It's a really weird song.
Here is the ATV sighting. We got a man.
Oh,
for those
This is a good
listening,
one.
a man recording, because only men can record. It could be a woman, but
It was 2 dudes. They were
2
riding
dudes.
ATVs up a creek.
Just 2
doing
dudes alone in
dude
the
stuff.
wilderness, doing dude stuff.
all right, here we go.
Oh, there he goes. Look at him. Wood booger.
There was a
And-
burger.
And they also immediately were like, we're getting the fuck out of here, which adds some credence to this thing not being a hoax.
It's a wild one. It's 2024. Why are these still the fucking videos that we're pulling?
Well, I think the video is probably from like 10 years ago, but
I agree with Jordan though. Any sighting from this point on, you should know how to not get that grain. Like, cameras are very good right now.
I mean, even if this is a phone, I mean, that's not really their fault. Try not to zoom in, I guess, unless you absolutely have to. Digital zoom fucking sucks.
it would still be whatever, like 5 megapixels or some shit.
I'm doing it. I'm getting the surgery. I'm having my eyes replaced with cameras.
Smart move.
I think it's a good move.
I'm getting the cyberware.
Moving out to the woods, recording everything.
I'll go hiking a lot.
All right, so that's the footage. I'm going to go take us back into the bunker now.
Yeah, well, and speaking of having replacement eyes, I would like to tell you the story of the orange eyes creature from Ohio.
Okay. think I've heard of Orange Eyes.
I have not.
Orange Eyes is a Sasquatch. Apparently lived under the Cleveland Cemetery, or a Cleveland cemetery. There might be more than one.
Lived underneath it, like with the bodies?
I don't know. I didn't do enough research into whether or not there's just like tunnels underneath the Cleveland cemeteries.
Yeah, that's then like the whole episode, and we just do an episode on the cemetery and the surely haunted Bigfoot home underneath it.
He could be related to the Ohio Grassman. We don't know for sure, but this one in particular is nicknamed Orange Eyes. It definitely lives near Mill Lake, which is home to another monster that we shall talk about after I talk about this one. Old Orange Eyes was allegedly an 11-foot tall, 1,000-pound Bigfoot creature said to live in central Ohio on a lonely road called Lover's Lane, where it stalked teenagers. The Orange Eyes creature first gained notice on March 28, 1959, when 3 teenagers observed a huge hairy orange monster rise from a ground fog at Charles Mill Reservoir near Mansfield.
Like
Then
a
4 years
vampire.
Yeah, apparently. Then 4 years later, the beast appeared again, and this time it was witnessed by several people. Although I would say 3 teenagers constitutes several people.
It takes 2 teenagers for 1 person. So that's just a person and a half. That's why they're writing it like this.
Okay. Scientists were not sure where this creature lived, but it's assumed that the beast might have lived in a tunnel in Cleveland's Riverside where it lived in peace for more than 25 years.
Nice.
I don't know where they pulled the 25-year mark out.
Well, that's when its marriage ended and it started, things got pretty dark.
Then suddenly in the 1940s and 1960s, highway construction destroyed the tunnel that Orange Eyes was alleged to be living in, forcing the creature to live in a stretch of forest behind the Cleveland Zoo. Finally, a group of teenagers invaded the creature's habitat on April 22nd, 1968, and chased the creature armed with baseball bats, flashlights, and ropes. Apparently, the creature fled into the forest.
Can you imagine if it didn't flee and just fought them off? That's an action movie.
Yeah. I would think that if you have to chase the creature out, it's probably aggressive enough to fight you, unless you were just an asshole.
I think asshole. Anyway, American whatnot.
They did try to capture the creature, but they found no sign once it fled into the forest. Jump over to June of 1991. Orange Eyes appears again, and this time the beast ran past 2 people fishing near Willis Creek, scaring the daylights out of them before disappearing. It was said the way to find this creature was on Ruggles Road near Blue Ridge, and if the creature was there, it would appear curious. Witnesses of the orange-eyed creature say that there is no monster, just some crazy hermit or trademark feature by nailing 2 round orange bike reflectors to a stick, which... No, I don't think so. I don't think these fishermen... You think just holding a stick with 2 reflectors on it...
If it was in a weird place and seemed to be moving around...
They do seem...
towards them...
I could see them seeing it and then going like, wait a second, is that... It seems like they're describing something thicker than just that, though, Like, there's more to it than just the eyes.
Yeah, well, yeah, supposedly it's 1,000 pounds. It's a fairly sizable creature.
Yeah, it just happens to have yellow eyes. So I think that theory is flat.
They also think it could be teenagers using Christmas tree lights, or possibly just flashlights, I guess, right in front of their face.
A classic goof.
Trying to frighten one another in the dark.
Kids, why don't you start taking meth and fucking like the rest of this country? Stop going into the woods.
Stay out of the woods. There's nothing for you in there.
Stay in each other. I'll probably edit that out.
If you witness a creature, let it be the beast with 2 backs and none other.
All good advice.
But it
says get pregnant, kids.
And then there was something about meth.
But but the only reason you get pregnant is to have an abortion.
That's why I had 17 already.
Exactly.
Not me. The poor women I forced them on. We got a lot to edit.
You gotta-
Yeah, it lives apparently near another monster, however, which is kind of interesting. The Charles Mill Lake Monster, which has also been seen in 1959 by three teenagers from Ohio. But the way they described it in this article is as one of the most bizarre critters ever to emerge from a seaweed-strewn lake bed.
Is this a different type of Nessie thing I've never heard about?
It sounds
Kind of.
slipperier than a Bigfoot.
Yeah, much like its highland counterparts on the flip side of the Atlantic, Ohio proves to be one of the preferred stopping grounds in the U.S. for more than a few unique species of aquatic-based cryptids. You've got your frogmen, that are out
Sure.
there.
Of course.
The
The Ohio Frogman.
And then you've got this guy. They don't mention a third one.
Should the Ohio Frogman be called a froglin? Is that something?
I
Nothing?
think that's what you say
Maybe.
when you're from Ohio, and then the rest of us should say Frogman because it's more polite.
Okay. I was thinking like goblin, froglin.
Whatever, right?
Carry on.
And I'm sure that there are goblins in Ohio as well.
That's right.
So this is located in Mansfield, Ohio, some 100 miles away from Loveland, where the froglins, scamper.
Froglin.
Nestled in between Cleveland and Columbus, the Mill Lake Reservoir was constructed in 1935 by damming the Black Fork of the Mohican River. Known for its voluminous catfish population, the lake is also said to be the home of a unique and ostensible amphibious creature, the likes of which has only been seen once, and is quite unlike any other cryptid ever reported.
Okay. Here we go.
This odd and harrowing encounter occurred on March 28th in 1959 when three teenage buddies, Denny Patterson, Wayne Armstrong, and Michael Lane, claimed to have had a run-in with one of the flat-out weirdest varmints that anyone has ever chronicled, at least in Ohio. The youths testified that they were cavorting near Ruggles Road, near the swampy shores of the Charles Mill Reservoir at night, when they saw a strange 7-foot-tall being rise up from the black water in front of them. The petrified boys watched in horror as this colossal creature towered above them. Later, they would describe the beast as being a huge, quote-unquote, armless humanoid with luminous green eyes and large webbed feet.
Jeez, Lou. Old green eyes?
Old green-eyed, no arms.
Dang. That sounds like... What does it sound like?
I mean, it sounds like no other creature we've ever heard about.
Yeah, I guess not.
The article says so.
It could have arms though, and maybe because it's got webbed feet, no arms.
Maybe its arms were just like at its side and the hair was matted down because of the water.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's
Maybe it
just
has-
like perfectly towards it.
Maybe it has very bad posture.
Needless to say, the teens wasted no time in exiting the scene and were swift to report their unusual encounter. This description of a humanoid creature rising from a murky lake is very much like eyewitness accounts of the vicious Fetus Lake monster, which hailed from Canada in August of 1972. And someday, I will also, probably next week, cover that.
Well, that's a very similar sighting. That's a new cryptid across the Americas that I've never heard about.
Yeah, they're both super weird. Unlike the quasi-reptilian visage of the Fetus Lake monster, this creepy manifestation, which falls somewhere in the murky gray area between the creature from the Black Lagoon, a hairless ape man, and the unknown, seems quite unlike any other creature ever reported. In fact, this thing is so bizarre that it's more like an amalgam of the Swamp Thing and a frightening early design for Sid and Marty Krofft's Sigmund the Sea Monster than a genuine biological entity.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the author
Shots
here
fired.
is really, really going for some stuff. When local authorities made their way back to the reservoir to see what the entire hubbub was all about, they discovered a series of quote-unquote tracks that resembled the footgear worn by skin divers. So
those some webs.
This might have been just some weird guy in a suit who happens to be 7 feet tall.
That's
Footgear
possible.
worn by skin divers. What does that mean? Like
That's possible, but
I think it's just flippers is what they're getting at.
But unless he is an amputee, like there's no like scuba snorkeling outfits that would just take away your arms. We need them for movement while doing these things.
Yeah, arms are important while swimming for the terrestrial creature.
It's possible that this was a person trying to emulate a dolphin, their best friend.
Sure.
One of them dolphin boys I keep making up.
Delfinos or something.
Despite this apparent confirmation that something with large webbed feet was skulking along the edge of the lake, there were no subsequent reports of this armless beast with glowing eyes. And then Lauren Coleman gets involved.
Lauren Coleman?
That's right. Esteemed cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman chronicled the bizarre aquatic humanoid case in his 1985 book, Curious Encounters. And then here is that section of that book. A green-eyed, 7-foot-tall, seemingly armless humanoid seen late in March 1959 by the aforementioned Michael Lane, Wayne Armstrong, and Dennis Patterson came out of the lake and left behind tracks that resembled the footgear worn by skin divers. The thing was seen again in 1963, so this article started out wrong, saying that it's never been seen twice, and described as luminous and green-eyed. I examined the site of these encounters and can testify to the Charles Mill Lake's swampy affinities. Certainly a good home for a Black Lagoon beast. It bears noting that Charles Mill Lake is allegedly the stomping grounds for another terrifying beast, which is said to have a pair of iridescent eyes. The aforementioned also orange-eyed, whatever it is.
Creech.
Squatch-ish.
Is Squatch.
Coleman also talks about how Orange Eyes lived in a tunnel near Cleveland's Riverside Cemetery.
That seems more believable than underneath it. When you enter the cave, you do go underneath the earth. So I get the lack of phrase accuracy.
The tunnel having been destroyed, it's possible that the cemetery was built afterward.
To bury those that died in the tunnel explosion.
Exactly.
Naturally.
The filthy beast, which in many ways, except pigmentation, resembled the legendary Murphy's Board mud monster, which, again, we're going to have to look up.
Yeah, the Murfreesboro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of it, not the mud monster.
Notable for what eyewitnesses claimed were its glowing orange eyes. It goes without saying that the legends of the Charles Mill Lake monster and orange eyes have become intertwined somewhat over the years, a fact which is understandable considering that they are both huge, vaguely humanoid beasts that bear self-illuminated eyes and ostensibly share the same habitat. Nevertheless, the distinctions between the creatures are clear. The Mill Lake monster is an armless, hairless, ostensibly amphibious, green-eyed monster with big webbed feet, while Orange Eyes is more akin to a prototypical Bigfoot, in that it is a large, hairy, ape-like creature with 2 arms and orange eyes.
It is weird that there would be 2 with orange eyes, though, right?
Well, no, the Mill Lake monster has crazy green eyes.
Yeah, but you were saying there was another one with orange eyes.
Oh, no, they're just saying that it's like orange eyes.
I see.
Except in this one respect that is the thing that it's named for.
Here's a drawing of that Murfboro monster and its red eyes. And then guess where this photo comes from? That's just not a random Bigfoot doing the Hitler salute while at a parade.
Oh, God.
That is from the festival, the Murfreesboro Bigfoot Festival.
Maybe he's just waving. Maybe this picture is out of context.
I'm saying it now. Bigfoot's a bad person.
You think Bigfoot might have some righter leanings than
most monsters, than the Loch Ness monster for sure. Because as we all know, the Loch Ness monster just wants to give everybody health care.
It's true. Where am I? Many have rightfully pointed out that the so-called glowing eyes seen on these creatures may well be mere reflections caused by flashlight or headlight beams. But again, I don't look at a car and think, what a giant weird monster coming out of the swamp.
Yeah.
That is true for most cars.
Most cars.
There are a couple of cars where I think I might be like.
I mean, I guess if it's a Christine, maybe, or
Do you remember the dog truck from Dumb and Dumber?
Oh,
Yeah.
What if it was that and it was all covered in mud?
Dumb and Dumber 4 in theaters this winter, ready for
Mhm.
Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
okay. So with one exception, in the fascinating case of the as yet unclassified creature known as the Dover Demon, observers who described a tiny, hairless, melon-headed critter claimed that its eyes also were luminescent and shined multiple colors depending on where and under what lighting conditions it was seen. So aside from the fact that it's somewhere between 7 and 11 feet tall and possibly up to 1,000 pounds, could be a Dover demon.
Sure.
Also, it doesn't live anywhere near Dover, but
Dover Demon could be around, you know?
Dover demon might travel. We don't know.
Maybe the Dover demon is like a larval form, and this is the fully grown.
That's possible. Dover demon could just be a child, this creature as well.
A puppy creature.
There have been no confirmed reports of the Charles Mill Lake monster since 1959, although many, including Coleman, credit it with what is an apparent ape-like orange eyes encounter from '63. However, every now and again, folks from that region still claim to discover strange tracks that resemble huge webbed feet near the boggy coast of the reservoir.
Shit. Well, shit and fuck.
Indeed.
It's
Shits
walking around
and
down
fuck.
there. I like that it walks down there. Like it's not swimming.
Yeah, I mean, it probably just goes into the lake for food, maybe.
Or maybe it comes from a planet where the atmosphere is thicker than here on Earth, and it feels comfortable down in the water.
I was talking about this at work because we were all high. But
Not me.
water
What are you saying?
water is just a gas essentially. Like fish move through the water as we do through the
sure.
air.
I mean,
Sure.
it's a form of a more solid thing than gas.
Yeah, but they work about the same, you know, how molecules move and whatnot.
Are you saying that fish are made of gas, man?
I am, man, and that's why they explode when you put them in the microwave with a fork.
Boop, doo, 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 boop. Bang. This has been that riff.
Yeah, I mean, there's two weird monsters that are Bigfoot or Bigfoot adjacent for this installment from Big Vember.
Well, there you go, folks. That is 3 tales from different areas across the world. We're gonna keep this going. We got friggin' 12 more days of Big Vember, everybody.
Truly, this will be released on the 24th. There'll only be 7 more days, but
And only 2 more days to the Feast of Thanksgiving, or as we call it, the Feast of Sassgiving, in honor of Sasquatch.
yes.
And we encourage you to be sassy at the table this year.
Ooh, dude, yeah, be hella sassy. Kick your feet up.
Oh, yeah. We're not saying, be mean to people. We're just,
Give them a little sass.
a little sass on it,
Yeah.
When you grab that piece of turkey for your plate, go for the leg.
Yep.
Nobody ever goes for the leg. Sass it.
Yep.
Take double stuffing. You know that's all you want. Sass it for Sasquatch. And then take your plate into the bathroom and eat alone in the dark. Because that's what you want. So sassy. That does it for this episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Thank you so much for sharing us, for giving us likes and faves and reviews anywhere you can. It really helps the pod. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitch. Check us out on anywhere that podcasts can happen. They happen to you like a meteorological event. A podcast. It's going.
Yeah, it's the hurricane of broadcasting.
Yes, like acid
No
rain.
one wants it, but
Or
here it is.
piping hot rain, or freezing rain, or dusty rain, the 4 elemental rains.
Dusty Rain just sounds like one of our fake country music alternate personas.
Truly, truly. Check us out on Patreon if you really liked what we've done here today for some reason. You can get an extra episode every week when we do them, which is most weeks, quite honestly. You can also help us continue to support ourselves and the infrastructure necessary to keep the radar rolling. It does take a lot of skulls. It does take a lot of manpower and a lot of ghosts, you know?
Ghosts are expensive too, with inflation and
what with inflation?
Boy, in this economy.
And the tariffs that are going to be happening.
What with the tariffs and inflation? I think that does it. Is there anything else you guys would like to mention?
No, I think that's it pretty much. Check us out where Jordan said, and have a good Thanksgiving.
Feast for Bigfoot. Keep it sassy. Until next time. As ever, please join us in our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch
the sky.
Spaceman
Joe.